Hello and welcome to episode number 6 of COglorbix. I'm Glorbix, and first of all, I'm sorry that I haven't come out with a video in a while. I've been kind of busy lately, and when I have gotten on Champions, I really haven't done much but level Glorbix, which is kind of boring. But, this episode I'll be talking about a bunch of random junk, along with parts of the Blood Moon event, and showing some of my characters, and giving the basic story of Glorbix. Some clips I picked up from the past 2 weeks of playing Champions are meeting this really big guy, another really big guy, who initially I thought was Grand, but thankfully wasn't. And speaking of Grand, he chased me, and Grand really has it out for me or something, I don't know. I hung it at Club Caprice, I danced at Club Caprice, and I picked up Illumination and Defensive Combo at the Powerhouse, and I became rich. The basic compact story of Glorbix is that he used to be an organism that fed on a star, and eventually when he consumed the entire star, he was left freezing in space and had to find a major source of heat fast. So he shot into our solar system and flew into the planet Earth, which was still being created and filled with molten lava. And he's been living here in volcanoes ever since. And you can imagine if you've been living for so long, you'd get quite bored. So he has to find new, interesting ways to keep himself entertained. And that's where the whole superhero deal comes in. This is Glorbix's main costume, as you know. It has a plain superhero look to it. And then here's his power armor suit. I switch between the first one and this one very often because I like wearing them both. This next one is Zombie Glorbix, which I got through the Blood Moon live event. You have to kill all 13 of the villains, or, well, zombie heroes, I guess. And here's Glorbix's dressed up costume. And if you ever wondered what Glorbix's face looked like, it's pretty monstrous. What's with this guy that always runs through Millennium City? His name's Wayne. Tell me if you've seen him before. So here are a few of my characters. Glorbix, as you know. Lord Bulk, who is my brother's character. Molecule Max, my friend and I made identical copies of the same character and just changed the colors and the head, and we leveled them together. Rupert, not much to say about him, I just created him. He is a Might and Martial Arts guy. Jangles, I wanted to try out the Celestial power set, so I made a Holy Bunny God thing. 10,000, I actually just deleted this guy because I was also going to use the Celestial with him. And Zip, who was my main character in the open beta of the game. I got him up to level 25 in the open beta, and just when the actual game came out, I kind of got tired of him. He was originally martial arts, and I now remade him electricity because I wasn't too crazy about martial arts. But here he is in the zombie apocalypse PvP scenario. And before I start talking about that, I wanted to talk about Zip's story. Zip is a residential service droid, or in other words, a robot butler to Defender. And while Defender is always out saving the world, Zip would stay home and pretend he was a superhero. One day, Defender came home early and realized what Zip was doing while he was gone. The next morning, Defender brought Zip along as his sidekick to fight the many criminals that inhabit Millennium City. After a few weeks of this naive little robot superhero training, he was let free into the world to bring justice to it and help the champions defeat Dr. Destroyer's villainous army. With the 12 o'clock curfew, of course. So that's Zip's basic story, and here I am with him in the new zombie apocalypse PvP scenario, which is staying permanently through the game, even after Blood Moon. So far, this PvP scenario is really cool. Basically, it starts out you're in a cabin, and when you exit the cabin, you're in Canada, and one person starts out as the zombie, and there's also a bunch of NPC zombies that'll come and attack you. And as a human, your objective is to stay alive inside the barriers as long as you possibly can. And when you die, you become the zombie, and you have to kill the non-zombie players. Here is another pop culture reference I found. On the left, you can see somebody that looks similar to Lara Croft from Tomb Raider. And the quest is called Tomb Waiter, so I thought that was interesting. Here is the werewolf versus werewolf hunter open world PvP thing that came with Blood Moon, but unfortunately this is leaving after the 2 weeks are over, and I found it extremely entertaining. I thought this event was really cool, but one thing I think they should change is that when you morph into a werewolf or werewolf hunter, everyone's stats should change to the same thing, because since I'm level 38, I can two-shot a level 12 as the werewolf hunter, and that should not be, because if your main is, say, a level 12, you're gonna have a very unfair advantage when trying to get the perks. But I like the werewolf hunter a lot more than the werewolf, because it felt a lot like a stalker from City of Villains, if anyone's played that. Basically, you just come out of stealth, do a big attack, and then, after you finish them off, run away and go back into stealth. The werewolf, on the other hand, seemed a lot like a scrapper from City of Heroes, which was just basically an all-out melee DPS. But I enjoyed the werewolf hunter a lot more because the mechanic was much more fun. Okay, that's about all. Thanks for watching episode number 6 of COglorbix. In the sidebar, I will link my Twitter page. I'm not familiar with Twitter at all, but then I realized that you could connect your character onto your Twitter account, so I made my Twitter account Glorbix, and I connected him up to it, and basically you can see my gear, whenever I level, and some perks I get, and some other crap like that. You can reach me in-game at Doodle5257, and until next time, heroes, goodbye.